Hello everyone, I'm Leonard French, your favorite copyright attorney here in snowy Pennsylvania. Yes, there will be a link to more dog video at the end. You may need them as much as I do after the roller coaster that was 2017. But keep watching for a bit of good news. The war isn't over, and good people are fighting. On Tuesday, attorneys general from 22 states filed a petition with the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia seeking the court's determination that the Net Neutrality Repeal is unlawful. The attorneys general accused the FCC of implementing the repeal in a manner that is arbitrary, capricious, an abuse of discretion, or otherwise not in accordance with the law. The FCC is an administrative agency, meaning it is part of the executive branch of government and charged with executing specific limited directives from Congress. The rules and regulations created by administrative agencies can be enforced as law, but agencies must follow specific rules and make decisions only within their delegated powers. Under the arbitrary and capricious standard, a court must determine whether the FCC's decision was a reasonable exercise of its discretion based on consideration of all relevant factors and supported by the record. Quote, "The scope of the judicial review under this standard is narrow, and an agency's interpretation of its own policies and prior orders is entitled to deference. This means that the review under this standard is limited to specific violations, and the reviewing court may not substitute its own judgment for that of the agency. The agency, however, must articulate a rational connection between the facts found and the conclusions made. The reviewing court must determine whether the decision was based on a consideration of the relevant factors and whether there has been a clear error of judgment. The inquiry, though narrow, must be searching and careful. A court may reverse under the arbitrary and capricious standard only if the agency has either relied on factors that Congress has not intended it to consider, failed to consider an important part of the problem, offered an explanation for its decision that runs counter to the evidence before the agency, or is so implausible that it could not be ascribed to a difference in view or the product of agency expertise. An agency's decision can be upheld only on the basis of reasoning in the original decision. This means that the agency's record in the matter is closed, and it cannot present new reasons for its decision. The FCC will have to rely on its existing statements and reasoning. In their petition, the attorneys general also accuse the FCC of violating its notice and comment procedure. Agencies are required to give interested persons an opportunity to participate in the rulemaking through submission of written data, views, or arguments, and to incorporate in the rules adopted a concise general statement of their basis and purpose. This part of the challenge likely involves showing how the FCC ignored the written data, views, or arguments made by net neutrality commenters to the point that there is no longer meaningful participation as required by law. From here, the petition goes to the Judicial Panel on Multi-District Litigation for what's known as the Judicial Lottery, a random selection determining which of the appropriate courts will host the case. It seems obvious to me that the FCC deliberately and arbitrarily ignored the meaningful comments of thousands of actual American citizens. I hope that this petition fully fleshes out the fraudulent comments that were made and the FCC's nonsensical reasoning. It seems to me that it could only be an arbitrary and inconsistent decision, a decision which seems to make the most sense if the FCC's goal was to line the pockets of major consumer internet providers at the expense of consumers and online video distributors. It does seem like a court may have the discretion to rule in favor of the 22 state attorneys general. Whether it plays out that way, we'll have to see. We should know within a few weeks which court is going to host the proceeding. I'll have updates for you as soon as they drop. Thank you to all of my supporters. You can currently go to audibletrial.com/lawfulmasses and sign up for a 1-month free trial of Audible, which also supports the channel. I'm currently listening to the Michael Wolff book, Fire and Fury Inside the White House. It's quite entertaining, regardless of your political persuasion. Thank you to John from On the Branch Gaming for their $1,000 donation to help me pay for my car repair. Thank you to my $50 plus supporters in January, John Steele, Gavin Barnard, The Godslain, Evie, Andy, and Kyle Mudrak. And thank you to my $5 plus supporters scrolling on the LED panel behind me and in the description as well. You'll find a link to the latest dogs video on the end screen. Hope you enjoy. I love you all. I'm Leonard French, your favorite copyright attorney, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hello. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. It's a winter wonderland out there, huh? It's not really packing snow. I can try a little bit. Here, go, here. Nico. I'm in a bathrobe, I'm not dressed for this. Oh. See, she at least has a ball. Whoa, knocked me over. Good boy. Good boy.